Hi there, I know the title of this video sounds a bit like clickbait, but I want to discuss the very slight possibility that Amazon might stop making Kindle e-readers and what that would mean for bookworms like me and you. Now, I originally heard of this news over the past 6 months or so through various news articles and blogs, and when I saw these headlines, I never thought much of it. There's no way that I would think Amazon would shut down the Kindle e-reader, but over time, I kept seeing more and more news come out about this topic, so I decided to look into it, and look what I found. I do think there is a chance that this actually might happen. It turns out there's actually some very valid business reasons why Amazon might consider turning off the Kindle e-reader business as a whole, but I want to emphasize that even if this does happen, I don't think it'll be happening for a long time, probably several years, so there's no reason to panic right now, but there is definitely a use of running through this scenario in our head to see how that impact might be for us. Let's dive into the reasons why I think this might be a possibility. The first one is I think Amazon is actually losing money on every single Kindle that they sell. Now, it's hard to find the exact numbers on this. They don't like to disclose how much it costs to make all their products, but there is a very high likelihood that all the parts that it takes to make a Kindle cost way more than the actual cost that they charge to buy a Kindle. Now, you're probably wondering why in the world would Amazon intentionally sell a product at a loss, and it turns out this is actually a very common technique. We see this a lot from big companies that sell hardware but also software. In this case, Amazon is selling the Kindle e-reader, but they're expecting them to make the money back on Kindle book sales through the e-reader that you buy on the Amazon bookstore. And if you think about it, that actually makes quite a bit of sense. If I buy a Kindle, I buy the Kindle as a one-time cost, but I'll be owning this Kindle for several years, and if you're an active reader, you'll be buying books all year long, and the price of the books that you pay add up quite a bit, and Amazon makes way more money on the book sales than they do on the Kindle. This is why the Kindle ecosystem is so locked in. Once you own a Kindle, all your books are purchased through Amazon, and they really lock you into that system where all your purchases are made through Amazon, so they're making money from you, not only on the Kindle sale, but primarily from your book purchases. So when it comes to Amazon potentially cutting off the Kindle e-reader business, it actually makes a lot of sense. They're already losing a lot of money from each Kindle sold, so if they wanted to cut costs, that is the first place that they'd probably look. Now, the next reason I want to talk about is actually more recent news that really shocked me when I read it. Amazon is actually in the process right now of pulling out of the China market. Last year in 2022, Amazon announced they're no longer going to be selling Kindle e-readers in China. And then on top of that, they announced that sometime in 2023, later this year, they're actually going to stop selling Kindle books as a whole in China. Now, if you are in China and you have a Kindle and you have a lot of Kindle books that you purchased, you'll be able to access those Kindle books until mid-2024. But after that point, you are out of luck. Your entire Kindle library will be gone. Now, you're probably wondering, why would Amazon pull out of such a large market? And again, from the research that I've done, it seems like they have way too much competition in China, so they just decided that it's better to pull out completely and just focus on other areas of the business there. But it really got me thinking, if Amazon can do this in China, what's stopping them from doing this anywhere else in the world? It's a bit scary to think about. If Amazon starts seeing a bit of a dip in their income in other countries, they can just decide one day to completely pull out of that market, and then all their customers in that market are completely out of luck. Yeah, they might just start by discontinuing the Kindle e-readers, but if they do something extreme, like no longer selling Kindle books in a certain country, that is a very big inconvenience to customers in those countries. I don't think this will ever happen in places like the US, for example, where Amazon is very, very healthy, but just think about that possibility. If they just decided, because they can, to shut down the Kindle ebook store and stop selling e-readers, that would impact so many people, and all the books, for me at least, would be completely inaccessible, which is a big, big deal because we are so locked in the Kindle ecosystem. The next major headline that really concerns concerned me is all the talk of layoffs happening right now in the tech industry, and Amazon is no exception. They announced that they're having about 10,000 layoffs. Now, having layoffs at that scale is a very big deal in itself, but it also seems like the majority of those layoffs are coming from the product division at Amazon, so the division in the company that is responsible for making things like the Alexa speakers as well as the Kindle e-readers. Now, I highly doubt that they completely laid off their entire Kindle team. That would make no sense, but it does show that Amazon does not see their products that they're making in-house as a very high strategic priority in the business. It's one of those things that they're doing as a nice to have in their business, but if they're able to lay off such a large number of people from those teams, it does not look good for the long-term vision. In the short term, I really don't think we'll see much of an impact. We're already seeing updates for the Kindle Scribe being released, as well as promises for future updates. So I think the short term, we're not going to see much, but the fact that they're laying off people at this scale is definitely a cause for concern for the long-term vision of the Kindle. So with all those reasons outlined, it really got me thinking, if Amazon did the extreme and completely kills the Kindle e-reader lineup, how would that impact me personally? How would I handle that situation? Now, the first part of this is if Amazon does stop making the e-readers, that would probably be a bit of a bad situation to be in, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. These Kindles last for a very long time. I get comments all the time from people on YouTube that have been using their Kindles for years and years and years. So if Amazon just announced one day, hey, we're no longer going to make e-readers anymore, I would probably buy a couple extra to have, and I'd be good for 10 plus years ahead. It would be a bit sad that we wouldn't be seeing any new Kindles come out. The innovation in that space would probably die along with the Kindle, but again, it wouldn't be the end of e-readers. We will see other competitors come out and take their place. What would be a bigger deal though is if Amazon decided that they're going to shut down their Kindle bookstore. Now, it sounds really crazy saying that out loud, but the fact that they did this in China is a really big concern. If they decide to do this in other countries, it would impact millions of people who have bought books through the bookstore. Now, I want to emphasize, I do not think this will be happening in other countries. I think China is a bit of a unique market for a lot of companies, especially Western companies, but it is an interesting thought experiment to go through. In case it does ever happen here in America, I would be in big trouble because I've purchased almost all my books through the Kindle bookstore, and I would lose access to all of those books because technically I don't own them. Amazon owns the books and I am just borrowing them because I purchased them through Amazon. So this is why a lot of people like to buy EPUBs directly from the author or buying books from the bookstore still, because that is the only way where you actually own the book. If you're buying the book through Amazon, technically speaking, you don't own it yourself. At any time, they can pull access away and you'd be out of luck. Now, there is a way to go to the Amazon website and download the book files of books that you've purchased to your computer so you have a backup copy, but then you have things like DRM that you have to worry about, and there are tools available to remove that, but that's a whole other debate of whether that's legal and whether that's something that we should be doing or not, so I won't get into that. But the point is, if you own a Kindle and you buy all your books through Amazon, you are locking yourself into an ecosystem that is completely out of your control, and that is something that you should definitely be aware of. Now, even though I don't think this will be happening, it is interesting to think about, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts as well. Leave a comment down below. What would you do if Amazon completely shut down the Kindle line of their business? Also, if you do own a Kindle, I want to recommend my other video with 15 essential Kindle tips and tricks that you should know about your Kindle. Link for that on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.